let him down? Will we let our grandchildren down? That is the challenge that I think we all face. We all have an obligation as citizens to take part, and let's commit ourselves, and maybe recommit ourselves, because so many of you already are. Let's recommit ourselves to our own conservation legacy, to our own outdoor legacy, to a glorious environmental future where pristine lands and clean air and clean water continues to be a birthright for every citizen of this country. That is a noble challenge. That is one that we all need to embrace. And the fact that you are all here today gives me great hope.
Answered phone calls and emails and so forth, but somehow or other it all came together, and the person responsible for it was Larry Luxembourg.
Thank you, Bill, and thanks for the overwhelming response here today. And it's really been gratifying to see the support that the museum has built over the years.
To this great day of dedication of the long-deserved Appalachian Trail Museum, it is a wonderful showcase preserving the trail's history and inspiring future generations. I had been looking forward to being here today, but I am recovering from hospitalization for pulmonary embolisms. My doctor tells me that my history of such active hiking and healthy living helped me to survive this. Apparently, I still have years of storytelling yet to come. I want to thank Larry Luxembourg for having the vision and the fortitude to bring it to fruition. The thoughtful planning and hard work of Larry and many other people are to be commended. I enjoyed my 1951 through hike immensely, never imagining its historical significance. While hiking in Virginia, I first heard about Earl Schaefer's 1948 hike from a farmer's newspaper clipping. Later, Schaefer told me how glad he was that my hike helped to validate his. There had been some doubt that the Appalachian Trail could be through hiked at all. The next year, I was privileged to meet Earl Schaefer, who became my lifelong friend. At the Smith Gap Shelter here in Pennsylvania, I was pleasantly surprised to meet Chester Zulewski, who was through hiking southbound in 1951. Neither of us had heard of the other. His completion of the trail a few days after mine made him the third through hiker. Unfortunately, just as an aside, Chester, who lived all his life in Naugatuck, Connecticut, died a few years ago, but the idea for the museum had already been born, and he was, looking forward to helping out as much as he could, telling us some of the stories of his 1951 hike. And as Larry has mentioned, one of the genesis years, so to speak, for the museum was 1998, the 50th anniversary of Earl's first hike. And to celebrate that at the Alda gathering that fall, with Larry's hard work, we brought together some of the early pioneer hikers and some of the representatives of those hikers. And among them was Gene Espy and Chester. And I had it all planned. I was organizing that gathering, and it was going to be a special moment on stage for the two of them to see each other for the first time since 1951. So I'm standing there with Gene and his lovely wife in the food line at the college cafeteria when Chester walked by. I just couldn't ignore him. And I said, Chester, come on over here. So the long-awaited reunion happened in line at the cafeteria. But it was still a special moment that night, one that everyone who was there will never forget, especially when they were reminded that when they met each other near Wind Gap, Pennsylvania in 1951, was the very first time a northbounder ever passed a southbounder on the AT. Just to conclude Gene's comments here, he goes on to say, as a pioneer hiker, I had the pleasure of meeting Benton Mackay, the trail's visionary, and Myron Avery, who helped lay out the trail. I also met Gene Stevenson, who was a dedicated ATC volunteer as editor for the guidebooks and journal. The Appalachian Trail and its hiking community of people and activities are dear to my life. I feel privileged to be a part of it. I always enjoy hearing about other people's hiking experiences. I look forward to visiting this great museum someday soon. Have fun and happy hiking to all. That was from Gene. Here, hold one end. I'm going to hold the other. Now, doing the honors today is Schwartz, better known as Benton Mackay Schwartz. Doesn't he look like him? He is the 13-year-old son of two very active trail maintainers here in Pennsylvania who met each other on the trail. Folks, why don't you raise your hands over there? Okay, there they are right there. And Benton is also a maintainer, which would please his quasi-namesake to no end, and somewhere Myron Avery is laughing. Okay, so, all right.
Up front. Higher. 1, 2.
Like our canned food, steak.